Honey is sacred here, and the beekeepers are goddesses, beautiful, powerful women who protect the hives. Honey is more than food here. It's a spiritual tool, allowing people to access higher dimensions. They say that honey was given to them as a gift from the star people, brought here long ago. Everything here feels connected, as if nature and magic were woven together into a single fabric. We encourage her to work with the consciousness of raw honey. The honey vibrates at a high frequency. It's a gift from the stars. By ingesting a little each day, she would not only nourish her physical body, but her soul as well. Honey carries ancient wisdom and will help her reawaken the knowledge that lies deep within her. It's a living teacher, gifted to the earth by the celestial beings. It has the power to heal, protect, and elevate the vibration of those who work with it. For souls like Christy, honey serves as a key. It unlocks their memories and reveals their true essence. Why did the Egyptians revere honey? The Egyptians understood that honey was a bridge between worlds. By consuming it, they could connect with their ancients and tap into higher realms of consciousness. Just as the Fae were once repelled by iron, as a clue to their Avalon heritage. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Just Being Me podcast. This is part 2 of my read-through of A Hypnotist's Journey to Avalon by Sarah Brexman Cosme. This read-through, I decided to do chapters 3 and 4, mainly because chapter 4 gives a really good description of Avalon. It's a pretty awesome description, in my opinion. Plus, it has a very important message at the end of it. At least I believe it's a very important message. And then chapter 3 kind of ties into it. Actually, it does. So you kind of need chapter 3 to know what's going on in chapter 4, if that makes sense for you. So chapter 3 is really short. So I felt like doing an episode on that wouldn't be very long. It's like a 10-minute read through or so it wouldn't take very long. And that's why I decided to crop both of them together. First part, we're starting out. These are some of the author's notes before she gets into her next session with Christy, which really dives deep into some other memories of some other lifetimes. So here we go. Chapter 3, A Surprising Introduction to Avalon. All of the information that I had uncovered during Christy's previous session was fascinating, but I knew there was more, and so did she. We both felt that pull to dig deeper. To find out more about the past that was ready to reveal itself, we met again for another session, and this time, something even more profound emerged. Have to agree on that one. Question, what do you notice now? Waking up in the morning after my wedding was bittersweet. My head throbbed from the clove wine, and I felt the weight of everything that was changing. This was the last morning I would wake up in this room, in this bed where I had slept since I was a little girl. I knew that today I would leave, and I knew deep down that I would never really be free. Marriage was like a contract, and as a woman, I was now bound by it. That sucks. Officially someone's property. I looked out the small window in my room, seeing the light filter through the thick glass. Part of me was excited to leave these castle walls, to see what was out there in the world beyond. But the other part of me felt heavy, as if something inside of me already knew the truth. There would be no real freedom for me, not now. I dressed quickly, not having much time to say goodbye to my family, my brother, my sister, and even my father. There wasn't time for a proper farewell. Soon, I was ushered into the coach with my new husband, set to parade through the countryside. What was the parade like? It wasn't a joyful marriage parade like I imagined. No, this was a military parade. The wedding isn't about love, it's about strategy. We were flanked by knights in full armor, and there were so many people lining the roads, cheering and waving. It felt overwhelming, like a spectacle. I have to say Sounds like one as well. Definitely sound like a power move. I mean, for really, it sounds like a royal wedding, I guess. I don't even know if they would do that in a royal wedding, have knights or army men or guards or whatever. Well, maybe they would. I don't know. Never seen a royal wedding before. Continuing. I could tell from their excitement that they didn't see things like this often. The banners above us carried both my father's and my mother's crest, along with my husband's. But the cheers faded as we left the town and moved into the quiet country roads. What was your coach like? The coach was simple, made of wood and straw branches and a red cushion. It was better than riding horseback, but it still wasn't comfortable. I tried to make conversation with my new husband, but he was bored. His disinterest was obvious, and it hurt more than I expected. He reminded me again that women are to be seen, not to be heard. The weight of his words stung, and I felt the tears swelling up, but I forced myself to keep them down. I stared out the window, watching the world pass by, and swallowed the lump in my throat for the entire day and a half it took to reach his castle. That's a long time to go riding with somebody that really don't like you, and you really don't like yourself. That had to suck. I'm just saying. Tell me about your new husband's castle. When we finally arrived, I was struck by its size. It was much larger than my father's castle. The large stone doors were carved in a zigzag pattern, and they loomed over me as we approached. Inside, the great hall was vast, leading to a formal room with doorways on either side of a large fireplace. The stones that lined the walls were brightly painted in rich colors, red, greens, blues, that felt organic, like they were a part of the earth itself. Ancient swords were displayed everywhere, some as old as the Roman conquests, a reminder of the battles the family had survived. It felt old, powerful, but also cold. What about your room? My room was upstairs and it had many windows, something that was considered a luxury. They were not clear like the glass in your time, but cloudy and hard to see through. Still, it was a sign of wealth. I could just imagine that. Had to suck a little bit. Or maybe, I don't know. I guess it's all about perspective. I'm used to clear glass. And when I see dirty glass, I get this OCD where I want to clean it. And it's like, but maybe that glass didn't appear dirty. I don't know. Let's not focus on the glass. Let's get back to the story. As soon as I arrived, the staff began setting up my things. I asked for the tapestry for my family to be hung, and I was relieved that no one suspected the red crystals were sewn into them. My bed was large and heavy with carved flowers along the frame, and a tall canopy draped with thick fabric to keep the warmth in. Red was everywhere. My blanket, the walls. It was a color easy to make, and my father's family used it often. It felt both old and new, a mix of history and ancient revelations. But even with all this luxury, I felt nothing but loneliness. How did you feel about your new life? I knew I had to start a new life here, but it was obvious that my husband didn't like me at all. He barely looked or spoke to me, and when he did, he spoke of going back to battle soon, and he had mentioned that I needed to get pregnant as soon as possible. It was my duty to bear an heir, he said, and I felt so much pressure. What if I couldn't conceive? I was already nervous about failing, and his constant reminders only made it worse. He talked about taking me to a cottage in the countryside where we would stay until I became pregnant, and the thought filled me with dread. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really sound fun. I mean, some men might say, oh, yeah, that sounds fun, because you just go there and no, nope. Yeah. I could only imagine the pressure. Like, geez. Let's move ahead in time. What do you notice? I've been here for over a month, and all I want to do is leave. I'm so homesick for my forest, for my family. I hate it here. Really felt that. Like I I would hate it there too. It doesn't sound fun at all from her perspective. Why do you feel this way? My husband doesn't desire me. He doesn't even like me. Every day he criticizes me. And I see him flirt with the other women here, women who seem to enjoy his attention. I think he's sleeping with them. I'm jealous of the way he looks at them with desire, a look he has never given me. I'm stuck in this routine, forced into etiquette lessons with my mother-in-law who never stops criticizing me as well. And I'm assigned friends who I don't like, but forced to spend time with. I hate these customs, and I can't do anything that I love anymore. I just want to let my hair down to feel free, but my hair must stay up, and my shoes must stay on, and every part of me feels trapped. I miss the forest so much. The freedom, the way the earth felt beneath my feet. Here, everything is heavy, the air thick, and the energy suffocating. To be uncomfortable 24/7, that really had to suck. Do you have a forest near you? There's one nearby, but I'm watched constantly. I have so many useless duties that I can't even slip away. I see why my mother struggled in her life at court, but it feels even stricter here, like I'm constantly being judged, constantly under someone's gaze. They tell me the king is visiting soon, as if it's incredibly exciting news, but I don't care. The king is now my uncle, King Edward, and meeting him doesn't mean anything to me. The king is your uncle? Yes. My husband is preparing for a campaign. He talks of France and the turmoil there. He plans to leave, and part of me is relieved. But his anger is growing. Every day he becomes more frustrated with me because I am not pregnant. He's made it clear that if I didn't give him an heir, I'm worthless to him. What do you do? I run. I can't take it anymore. I run as fast as I can down the hallway lined with colorful stones, past the servants who stare in shock as I race by. No one tries to stop me. It's like they understand. I bust through a heavy door that leads outside, startling a young girl tending to the chickens. She looks at me wide-eyed but doesn't say a word, and I motion for her to stay quiet, and then I run. About damn time. At this point, I'm cheering you on. Run, girl, run. Run as fast as you can. Run to the forest. Forest? Continuing. I run past the farms, past the fields, until I reach the forest. Tell me more. The forest is beautiful. The trees, rowan birch, they tower above us. Their leaves, glowing in the sunlight that filters through. The air is fresh, and as soon as I enter the forest, I feel like I can breathe again. I touch the bark of the trees, feel the earth beneath my feet, and for the first time in months, I feel like myself again. I sit beneath a tree, letting the peace of the forest surround me. But then I hear something. Laughter. Soft, distant laughter. I follow the sound and find a small path that leads to an old stone circle. It's abandoned, with moss covering the stone as if no one has been there in years. But as I step inside the circle, I feel like the world shifts. The energy changes like a warm, comforting blanket wrapped around me. The laughter grows louder and I feel so sleepy. My eyes grow heavy. Now this is where the good part starts. It sounds like a good meditation session, in my opinion. You can go places during meditation. I'm just saying, give it a shot. My eyes grow heavy. And just before I close them, I see colors swirling around me, dancing in the air. And everything changes. I'm no longer in the same time. It's as if I transported somewhere else entirely, somewhere ancient. Now that, my friends, is the end of chapter 3, and chapter 4 picks up where chapter 3 leaves off at. So, like I said, kind of need chapter 3 to understand the rest of this. Chapter 4's title is Remembering Avalon. Let's go. So these are notes from the author. Right? I was curious to see what happened after Alice entered the stone circle, so I gently continued to ask Christy questions, eager to uncover more of this hidden world. What do you notice? I have no idea where I am, but I'm not in the same place. I seem to be standing inside a different stone circle, in a world that feels ancient. Right in front of me, there's a giant, a massive being holding a bow and arrow aimed directly at my face. Tell me more. The giant looks startled, just like the other creatures around him. They're all staring at me as if I appeared out of nowhere. They speak in a language I don't understand, but strangely, I can understand their thoughts. I'm reading their minds. They're confused, unsure of who I am, and honestly, I feel the same way. As I look down at myself, I realize that I'm not even human. Not even human. You just pop up in the middle of a stone circle surrounded by the homies. I'm just saying, like, you surrounded by me and the homies, and you just pop up and be like, oh! I can see how that would be a little startling, if you're looking for answers to your prayers and then a being just pops up like, oh. Yeah. Pretty cool, but yeah, I understand I wonder if it was jump scare or not. Whatever. Let's go. What do you look like? I'm much smaller compared to the giant and these other beings. My skin is iridescent, shimmering in the sunlight with colors that seem to shift as I move. I have almond-shaped eyes, long white hair flowing down my back with pointy ears. There's a glowing blue dagger strapped to my side, encrusted with jewels. That's when it hits me. I'm one of the light elves. Tell me more. The beings around me are like nothing I've ever seen. Some are part man, part animal. There are centaurs, unicorns, fairies, giants, and even lion-like humanoids. Everything here feels alive, deeply connected to a higher consciousness. The air is thick with energy, like the very land is humming with life. The stone circle I'm in isn't like the one I left. It's brighter, more vibrant. The stones themselves glitter and radiate with a shifting aura of colors, from deep blues to golden yellows. From what I understand, the creatures were here seeking answers from their ancestors. And when they called out for guidance, I appeared in the center of the circle. But I don't have answers. And now the longer that I'm here, the more I forget. I can't remember the forest, my husband, or even my human life. It's all slipping away. And good at this point, because that life was some bull. Okay, it was some bull. Why are they looking for answers? They're troubled. There's turmoil in this place. Men have begun to invade, capturing and killing the creatures who live here. The beings are communicating this to me telepathically, showing me flashes of chaos and fear. They came to the circle hoping for help, and instead they got me. Tell me more. I try to tell them that I don't have the answers they're seeking. I'm as lost as they are. The giant who still has the arrow aimed at me doesn't trust me yet. This giant is incredibly handsome, with 2 long braids down his back and deep mesmerizing eyes. They're green, speckled with gold, like leaves just beginning to change color in autumn. He doesn't lower his bow right away, and I can't look away from him. His eyes draw me in, and everything about him feels familiar. Tell me more about the people there. The people here are tied to the earth in a way that I've never seen before. Their features change with the seasons. Right now, their hair is silvery red, but I know it will deepen as spring turns to summer, and their eyes will turn a bright emerald green. In the winter, their hair turns white, and their eyes become a deep purple. It's all part of their connection to the cycles of the earth. That's pretty interesting. It's pretty dope, actually, to be that connected to the earth that you change just as the earth around you changed. Like, that's a super deep connection. Like, I'm trying to be that connected to the earth. That's a super dope connection. Like, yeah, I can only imagine. The giant tell me his name is Kal Dudanu, the son of Danan. Let me pause there for a second because I've definitely heard that name before. I've heard both of those names. So, I hear about them in other stories. So it kind of ties into this. And I find it interesting, the further you go into spirituality, the more you tend to find stories that link to questions that you may or may not have had, or questions you possibly heard other people have about some of the things that we've been taught coming up in this world. It's fun to see some of the connections, Continuing on. The giant tells me his name is Kal Dudanu, the son of Danan, a protector of this place. Who is Danan? Danan is his mother, the goddess Danu. Kal Dudanu is one of the original Truatha De Danan, an ancient race charged with protecting the creatures of this land, and he speaks to me through our minds. He finally lowers his bow, realizing that I'm no threat. Yep, the Truatha De Danan, I've definitely heard of them, but I can sense the disappointment in the air. The creatures were expecting answers, not another lost soul. What else do you notice? There are so many beings here. Creatures I've never seen before. A bull man, a horseman, small pixie-like creatures, and even beings that resemble leprechauns. There are 3 or 4 lions and a regal-looking man and woman who seem to be royalty. The giant tells me his kind are few in numbers now, and they're often the first to be captured by men because of their size and strength. The men who invade Avalon come with advanced technology, and the simple swords and arrows of the giants aren't enough to defend against them. What else does the giant tell you? He explains the men came from across the sea, a place you know as Atlantis. But here they call it something else, something I can't pronounce. That's pretty interesting. I'm very curious about what they called it. That's very interesting. They come by ship, both through water and the air. So you mean to tell me there were advanced civilizations way back in the day, like way before the Egyptians came, because this is a long, long time ago. It makes sense. It doesn't surprise me at all. All right. The men of Atlantis have taken many of the female beings from Avalon, especially the pregnant ones. They breed them with humans and create hybrid slaves, using them for war, labor, and power. That's not the first time I've heard of that story. And apparently history repeats itself. Yeah. The Atlanteans have been doing this for nearly a century, and it's put everyone on high alert. That's why they're seeking answers today, hoping for guidance in how to protect their people. What happens next? Kal Dudanu looks at me differently now, like he recognizes something. He notices the blue luminescent dagger at my side, the one I didn't even remember I had. He tells me it's an ancient weapon, one that belonged to the ancestors of this land. His people have a few of these daggers hidden away because of their immense power. When he sees mine, he realizes who I am. He tells me I must be one of the original light elves, one of the first beings who came to this world, and suddenly the creatures around us begin to laugh, not out of malice, but out of joy. They believe I'm one of their ancestors, returned to help them. Tell me more. They show me around this place you would call Avalon, and it's breathtaking. It feels like a place out of a dream, like a world before time began. The trees are massive, their leaves larger than a human head. Some of the trees shimmer with a soft glow, and the leaves are used to make clothes, while the wax they produce is sacred. The trees themselves are conscious, happy, and generous, and always offering their gifts. That is not the first time I've heard of ancient stories where trees, well, okay, so let me back up. Trees are conscious right now. Okay, let's just put that out there. We all know plant life and all that stuff is conscious. That's why they live and die. You know, they live with the seasons and die in the wintertime, you know. So obviously, we know they're conscious. But this story, when I see conscious in this story, happy and generous and always offering gifts, I see these trees kind of like we saw them in cartoons where they have eyes in their lips and they're talking. Call me crazy. I don't care. I'll wear that proudly. But that's just what I envision. And do I believe this is true? Yes, absolutely. This is all being told from a person under hypnosis. Can't argue with the higher self. I'm sorry. All right. I can see rowan trees playing with unicorns. They are very good friends. In the distance, I see hills that look purple, like lavender-colored mountains. Dudanu shows me a map in his mind, revealing that this place is what you would call Great Britain, long before it became an island. At this time, it's still connected to Europe. There's a library here, too, filled with ancient maps from an indestructible plant fiber. The tree that maps are made from no longer exists. So, what I read there is there are maps made from an indestructible plant fiber. That sounds like Teflon, Kevlar, or something. I don't know. Maybe it's something that that some people know, well, but the public doesn't. I don't know. But what that tells me is that these maps are still in existence somewhere. I am excited to see these maps when they are finally revealed. Tell me more about these maps. These maps reveal all the realms, and they even show a detailed layout of what you would call inner Earth, which is this hidden world filled with ancient cities, vast landscapes, and civilizations that exist beneath our surface reality. Avalon is also mapped out, showing its location connected to other realms. The maps weave together different dimensions, showing how Avalon and the inner Earth are linked. But in your time, only those with the right perception can truly see and understand them. Tell me more about this place. It's very interesting. The beings of Avalon build their homes using blue stones that are mined from the mountains. Honey is sacred here, and the beekeepers are goddesses, beautiful, powerful women who protect the hives. Honey is more than food here. It's a spiritual tool, allowing people to access higher dimensions. They say that honey was given to them as a gift from the star people, brought here long ago. Everything here feels connected, as if nature and magic were woven together into a single fabric. Tell me more. It's been a few days since I stepped through the stone circle, and I can feel my body shifting, awakening to something new and ancient. I've grown taller now, the size of a regular human. It feels like more than that. My body is alive with instinct and intelligence that responds to every sensation around me. When I feel threatened, I can shrink or grow without even thinking. When I arrived, I was only 3 feet tall, but now I stand 5 feet. My hips fuller, my curves more pronounced. It's like a sensual blossoming or ripening of form. As if I've gone through a kind of puberty, driven by the desire that stares deep inside of me. Yeah. Definitely sounds like you've gone through puberty. Grown up, you got a little thick, got some curves, and feeling yourself out. You feeling yourself? Okay, go ahead. Little elf? Go ahead. I woke up like this, looking elf. Continue. What do you mean? It's the attraction to him, the giant. I feel it in every part of my body, the magnetic pull that I can't resist. My body knows. It knows before I even think of it. My hips widen, my breasts swell, my skin feels like it hums with anticipation. It seems like you're ready. My bad. I don't know where that came from. All happening because of him, because of this deep primal desire that pulses between us. There's something ancient, something cosmic about the way I'm drawn to him. It's not just attraction, it's a love that spans lifetimes, a connection that vibrates with the very essence of the universe itself. Our love, our desire, it creates energy, powerful and electric, like we are two forces of nature colliding in perfect alignment. That is dope. Like, I mean, that's probably what everyone visualize when they think of soulmate. It's like the soulmates don't have to be someone sexual. It could be a good friend that's a soulmate, and you guys have lived multiple lives together. That's all. All right. How do you know you had this connection? It hit me all at once, like a wave crashing over me. He resisted at first. He didn't believe he could ever feel this way, that he could ever fall so deeply. He thought it was his duty to protect, to guard the beings in this place, and that love wasn't a part of this path. But the attraction was undeniable. And even though he fought it, I could feel him surrendering, slowly, bit by bit. It consumed us both. I knew we were falling in love because I could hear his thoughts, feel his desires as if they were my own. His resistance melted away as our connection deepened. Soon, we were inseparable. Our energies intertwined in a way that felt fated. Yeah, I mean, you dangle the food in front of you long enough, you're gonna want to take a bite eventually. You're gonna get hungry. I'm just saying, can't run from love forever. What happens next? I'm not sure. The next thing I know, I'm back in the stone circle of my husband's forest. Ain't that a just when the story was getting good, just when you kind of just forgot all about the BS life that she was living in that time with her husband, and then boom, you just thrown right back into it. Like that had to suck. Like, I was mad as a reader, like, I demand more. All right, let's go. As if Avalon were a dream, but I could still feel it. It's as if a part of me never left. At this point, the person running the hypnosis session, feel free to comment on the proper way to say that, guys. As you see, I'm struggling. All right. And I ain't too proud to ask for help. All right. So at this point, she steps in because apparently she might have been upset too. Like, oh, so you just gonna end the story right there? She asked to speak to the higher self. Can I speak with Christy's higher self? Yes, I am here. Why did you show Christy this memory of Alice entering the stone circle and meeting the giant? This memory has been buried within her for thousands of years. It holds immense potential for healing, not just for her, for many others as well. It's a key, a gateway to unlocking her own soul's release and healing the ancestral trauma that has been carried through generations. These memories come to her in dreams, whispering to be acknowledged. Now is the time to revisit them, because through this process, she will heal herself and those connected to her. A collective awakening is unfolding, and memory is a crucial part of this larger shift. Talk about timing. Man, if you don't feel that, because I felt it. I read that and I'm like, let's go. Wake up, everybody. So is this a real memory? Yes, it's real. It comes from a time long ago, between 50,000 and 25,000 years before your current era. Let that sink in. Before this current era, 50 to 25,000 years before our current area. Before our current era. See, you know what? That's a sign that I need to move on. You can't even talk right. You're just trying to get a point across. It's talking all loud and crazy. And yeah, let's continue. Yes, it is real. It comes from a time long ago, between 50,000 and 25,000 years before your current era. This is not just a story, it's a lived experience filled with both beauty and tragedy. We reveal it to her in stages because the depth of the trauma embedded in this memory are profound. To see it all at once would be overwhelming. As she releases this memory, she will not only free herself, but also release the pain stored within her lineage for millennia. In doing so, she will help heal the collective wound of those connected to that ancient time. So, that too is aligned with other things I've learned along my awakening journey. Yeah, I almost forgot where I was going with that. But I say that to say this. I've heard that a person, an enlightened person, the person who reaches enlightenment, not only heals the karma within them and the karma that they've been carrying on through lifetime and lifetime and lifetime, but they also heal the karma that's in every version of them. Everyone affected, like this story just said, everyone affected by this timeline. So that would be her sister, her mom, all those souls that we reincarnate with every time. It's pretty deep. And, stories like this kind of put the pictures together, put the pieces of the puzzles together. It's very interesting. Continuing on. This is a sacred healing, both personal and universal. Do you have any advice for her as she navigates this process? We encourage her to work with the consciousness of raw honey. The honey vibrates at a high frequency. It's a gift from the stars. By ingesting a little each day, she will not only nourish her physical body, but her soul as well. Honey carries ancient wisdom and will help her reawaken the knowledge that lies deep within her. It will ground her, offering support as she uncovers more memories. Go get some honey, y'all. Some raw honey. I started eating some raw honey every day. I do like a teaspoon of raw honey every day, or at least I'm trying to. This is something that I'm doing that's pretty new for me, so I tend to forget. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Honey is a gentle yet powerful healer. Why is honey so important? Honey is more than just a sweet substance. It's a living teacher, gifted to the earth by the celestial beings. It has the power to heal, protect, and elevate the vibration of those who work with it. For souls like Christy, honey serves as a key. It unlocks their memories and reveals their true essence. It protects them from illness and helps them remember who they truly are. For many like her, honey will heal the wounds of lifetimes spent in hiding, forgetting, and suffering. This is why honey was revered by the ancients, especially the Egyptians. Why did the Egyptians revere honey? The Egyptians understood that honey was a bridge between worlds. By consuming it, they could connect with their ancients and tap into higher realms of consciousness. Just as the Fae were once repelled by iron, as a clue to their Avalon heritage. Honey has the ability to affect the soul's DNA, especially for those who have reincarnated from ancient lineages like the Fae, Light Elves, and Druids. For those souls, honey is a powerful catalyst that awakens dormant memories and abilities. Just as the Fae were once repelled by iron, those reincarnated now as humans may experience iron sensitivities, anemia, or intolerance as a clue to their Avalon heritage. But this is the first time in history where they won't be persecuted for remembering. How can honey help those reincarnated fae? Honey can reverse the effects of anemia, restoring vitality and joy. It helps them reconnect to their true selves and to the earth. When they consume honey, they strengthen their connection to their ancient lineage and to the earth's healing power. Yeah, if you're suffering from some of those conditions, it wouldn't hurt to try a little honey. Honey acts as a bridge, opening their hearts and minds to the wisdom stored deep within their souls. For those who feel lost or disconnected, it offers reassurance. You are now safe. You can remember without fear. Let nature and the sacred gift of honey guide you back home. Who was the giant Alice met? He said he was the original Truratha de Danann. Who are they? The Truratha de Danann were giant elves created to protect the Fae in the natural world. They were beings of immense power, their abilities almost godlike, and they lived for thousands of years, immune to sickness and deeply connected to the earth and stars. Yeah, that kind of makes me think of some of the characters discussed in the Bible. I mean, I've always wondered how they lived so long, and maybe that's a clue to it. In Christie's past life as Alice, she met Cal Dudanu, a giant of the Tuatha De Danann. Their meeting was no coincidence. They were destined to come together, to create a new race through their union. This love story, often dismissed as myth or legend, is real. It was passed down through history by the Druids and other keepers of ancient wisdom. The region of Caledonia was named in honor of their union, and the echoes of their love story are felt today, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be remembered. So this love story is more than just a legend? Yes, it is far more than legend. It is the sacred truth woven in the fabric of time, carried through the hearts of those who remember. Fairy tales aren't just make-believe. They're echoes of a world once filled with magic and wonder. The love between Alice and Cal Dudanu was real, and their union created something new that continues to flow through many bloodlines today. As more people awaken, the ancient wisdom will rise again. These memories are returning now because it's time for the world to remember the truth that has always been within them. There you have it, folks. That is the end of chapter 4. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If it resonated with you, maybe stirred up some emotion, maybe you're one of those reincarnated people that's discussed in this. Never know. If you feel connected to it or enjoyed the story in any kind of way, please like and subscribe. If you want to buy the book, the link is in the comments below. If it didn't resonate with you and you know someone who it might resonate with, share it with them, send it to them. Hey, let's all wake up together. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.